Have you ever looked around and had the feeling that the man sleeping next to you is no longer the same man who made your heart race? That vibrant love, full of stolen kisses and intense looks, was swallowed up by bills, tasks, and uncomfortable silences. Routine has this cruel power to transform romance into coexistence, to erase the shine and make us forget why it all started. Anna and Marcos, a couple like so many others, began to get lost in the middle of bills and obligations. She worked all day, so did he, and when they met at night, the dialogue was reduced to "What's for dinner?" and "Did you pay your card bill?" The touch became rare, the look more distant, until, one day, in the middle of a silly argument, Anna said out loud what she never had the courage to admit: "I feel like we became roommates." That was the snap. But did it need to go that far? How many women are right now trying to scream on the inside, but smiling on the outside, pretending everything is okay? How many are in relationships where affection has become a habit and no longer a choice? If you've felt this or know someone who is going through this, comment below the word routine. I want to see how many women are also trying to rekindle this flame and show that real love is still worth fighting for. Let's find out together what to do when love seems to fall asleep and how to wake it up again. You know, it's not that you don't love each other anymore. It's just that life has gone into automatic mode. And this happens to more couples than you might think. When the children arrive, the focus changes. Priorities get mixed up. The child cries, work demands, the house becomes chaos. You look at your partner and he is also exhausted, trying to manage everything. You still love each other, but time together, that time just for you, where there was space for a longer hug or an uninterrupted conversation, has become a rare luxury. We grow up hearing that love conquers everything, but no one says that love also needs maintenance. And over time, if care is not taken, it becomes swallowed up by tasks, commitments, and accumulated fatigue. It's as if the relationship became a society of two adults, responsible for keeping the house running, but who forgot that before being parents, professionals, or home managers, they were in love. They chose each other, and this cannot be lost. The truth is that love is like a bonfire. At first, the flame is intense, almost uncontrollable. But over time, if we don't add firewood, it goes out. Firewood in this case is affection, quality time, admiration, touch, details. A look that says, "You are still special to me," a sincere compliment, a note left on the coffee table. But when routine imposes itself, we stop fueling this fire, wake up automatically, sleep tired. And little by little, the heat disappears. And do you know which is the worst? Many women feel this, but blame themselves. They think they are being too demanding, that they need to hold on tight, that at least he is there. But it's not just about physical presence, it's about the connection. Being together is different from feel together. And when that connection breaks, the heart begins to feel lonely, even at home. Maybe you're sitting there, listening to this video, remembering the times when he surprised you with a simple dinner, but made with care, or the days when you laughed together for nothing. This doesn't have to be in the past, and I want you to understand something very important. You are not alone in this feeling. You're not wrong for wanting more. It's not selfish to want your relationship to have life, joy, and true presence. Many incredible, strong, dedicated women like you face this same silent pain. They take care of everything, embrace the world, but sometimes they forget to take care of us. And this is common because no one teaches us how to keep love burning in the midst of the hurricane of everyday life. Modern life demands too much. Work, kids, household chores, social media, notifications all the time. It's easy to get lost, but it is also possible to find yourself again. This video is the first step towards that. To remember that love needs space, it needs to be fed, and that there is still time to look aside and recognize that sparkle in the eyes of someone who, even after everything, still wants to choose you every day. Because when we decide to rekindle the flame, even a spark can turn back into a beautiful fire. Let's talk about how to make this happen. Stay with me until the end. And now I want you to take a deep breath with me and understand, rekindling this flame is possible, yes. Even when everything seems cold, even when the emotional distance seems like an abyss, because love, when it still exists, is only dormant, not dead. And do you know what he needs? Of intention. Take a conscious step, even if small. I remember the story of Claudia and Raphael, a couple who had been together for over 12 years. They had 2 young children, a busy routine. He left early, she arrived late, and they were both exhausted. Claudia told me that for a long time she thought their marriage had become just logistics. "We were 2 adults raising kids and paying bills, that's all," she said. But one day, after seeing an old photo of the 2 of them smiling on a trip, she decided she didn't want to lose that connection. She started with something simple. She sent him a loving message in the middle of the day, something she hadn't done in years. He responded in surprise. The next day, he was the one who waited for her with a ready-made coffee, and that, so small, started to become something bigger. They started meeting on the couch at night, just for 15 minutes, without cell phones, just to talk. No charges, no pressure, just presence. And little by little, what seemed lost was being rebuilt. What changed in Claudia and Raphael's marriage was not a romantic trip, nor couples therapy. Although that also helps a lot when possible, it was their decision to look at each other again with interest. And it started with small actions. A sweet note in his lunchbox. A "thank you for being here," said sincerely. A touch of hand in the midst of chaos. The truth is that often the relationship doesn't need something big to warm up again. It needs constancy, of small gestures made with intention, because that's exactly what adds fuel to the fire. Love doesn't go away overnight, but it also doesn't come back all at once. It's like planting a new seed in old soil. It requires patience, presence, and care, but it blooms. And maybe you're thinking, "But I'm doing everything alone." And look, I understand that feeling. But even the gesture of rekindling a flame alone can touch someone else in a profound way, because love inspires love. When you change, the environment changes. When you choose to act with presence, you give others the silent invitation to do the same. So, if you believe that your relationship is still worth fighting for, comment below the word "party." This shows me that you are committed to transforming this. Because yes, it is possible to recover lightness, affection, desire, and connection. And it all starts with a decision. The decision not to accept that love ends in silence. The decision to remember who you were and, even more so, to build together who you can be from now on. Real relationships have phases. They have ups and downs. But when there is respect and will, there is a path. And if you've made it this far in this video, it's because deep down you still feel something strong inside. And that's the first sign that it's worth it. I'm here to remind you that you deserve living, present, and reciprocal love, and that rekindling the flame of your relationship is more than possible. It's a journey that starts now, with a simple gesture. And if you have the courage to take that first step, I will be here to walk with you. Shall we rekindle this story? And now the time has come for the big revelation. Love can indeed be rekindled with simple but extremely powerful attitudes. And this is exactly where everything begins to change. When we talk about saving a relationship or recovering the connection, many people imagine that they need something grand, expensive, out of reality. But what really transforms a relationship are real gestures, made with intention and consistency. And the first thing I want to invite you to try is to recreate your first date. Yes, that's right. Try to remember what that day was like, where you were, what you were wearing, how you looked at each other. Now, Imagine the two of you reliving it with open hearts, even if it's years later. Our brain has the power to associate feelings with memories. When you relive a good moment from the past, you also access the good emotions that were there, and that can be magical, even if it's not exactly the same, even if it's just cooking the same dish together as your first dinner, or going back to that special place. What matters is the meaning. This kind of gesture is a subtle reminder that your story still has incredible chapters to be written. The second powerful attitude is to insert small surprises into everyday life. And here, I'm not talking about expensive gifts or cinematic gestures. I'm talking about an unexpected message in the middle of the afternoon saying, "I thought of you and smiled." A loving post-it in his wallet. A sincere compliment in the middle of the routine. These simple surprises break the ice of indifference. They arouse curiosity, provoke smiles, and show that others still matter. The third point is about communication, but communication without judgment. You know those conversations where we can talk without fear of being attacked, without the pressure of resolving everything right away. This changes everything, because when there is room for vulnerability, there is room for connection. So, next time you talk about something more serious, try using phrases like, "I feel this way when that happens," instead of, "You always do it wrong." This opens doors instead of building walls. The way we communicate in a relationship defines whether it grows or gets sick. And wise women know how to use words as bridges, not as swords. Another essential practice is to create moments of quality time, but for real, without screens, without distractions. A dinner without a cell phone on the table. A bath, together in silence, just enjoying the moment. A leisurely walk hand in hand. Do you know why? Because nowadays we even spend time together, but we almost never this together for real. Being present is a gift. And last but not least comes the rescue of intimacy. And here I talk about a type of intimacy that goes beyond the physical, although it is also essential. I'm talking about emotional intimacy, that deep exchange where you feel like you can be who you are without masks. Sometimes, a tight hug at the end of a difficult day can rekindle more desire than 1,000 words. Sometimes, just hearing someone say, "I'm here for you," your heart warms. Intimacy is built in detail, in listening, in long looks. And this is something that can and should be cultivated every day, even in moments when everything seems far away. When you allow yourself to reconnect sincerely, love finds space to blossom again. So, visualize yourself living it. Imagine him looking at you again with that sparkle in his eyes, holding your hand with intention as if to say, "There's still time, and I want it with you," because it really does, and you deserve to experience that kind of love. Now that you understand that rekindling love is possible, and have practical attitudes in your hands that can transform your relationship, I want to invite you to something even more important: being part of a community of women who are on the same journey. Here in the comments, we create this safe, welcoming space full of real exchanges. Because yes, what you feel, other women feel too, and when we share, the pain weighs less, and ideas multiply. So tell me, which of these attitudes will you test first this week? Comment below the tip number that made the most sense to you. 1. Recreate the first date. 2. Simple surprises in everyday life. 3. Communication without judgment. 4. Quality time without screens. Or 5. Rescue emotional and physical intimacy. This helps me understand where you want to start, and it might inspire other women reading too. Sometimes, just seeing that someone is trying, the other person creates the courage to try too. And this is how we transform not only our history, but the history of many around us. And if you have a different idea, a tip that worked in your relationship, share with us. Your experience will help another couple who are here now, looking for a way out, a light, a new beginning. This space is ours, made to exchange, to welcome, to add. There is no judgment, there is no right or wrong. There are real women with real stories who are choosing to fight for love, connection, and a more conscious relationship. Maybe you've created a daily ritual with your partner, or maybe you've discovered a unique way to reconnect. It may be something small, but if it was true, it has value. So write here in the comments, with affection, with generosity. When a woman shares what she has learned with an open heart, she plants seeds that can blossom in the lives of so many others. Let's create this movement together. And before ending this part of the video, I want to reinforce something very special. You are not here by chance. If you've reached this point, it's because there is a living flame within you, a real desire to change, to grow, to love better, and to be loved in return. And that is too powerful. So take advantage of this moment. Comment, share, interact. This is our conversation circle, our coffee between friends, where we support each other and learn from each other. Because developing a healthy and loving relationship is also a form of personal development. When you take care of your bond, you also take care of your self-esteem, your energy, and your peace. And you deserve it. I'm here to remind you, you can build a light, true love, full of connection. Now comment here, open up to us, and let's continue this conversation in the comments. I will be there, reading every message, cheering on your every step. You are not alone on this journey. We are together. And now I want you to stop for a moment. Take a deep breath and allow yourself to feel. Remember that first time your eyes met and time seemed to slow down? Do you remember the feeling of falling in love, the desire to be close, the conversations that went on until the early hours of the morning? Love doesn't disappear. It only hides sometimes, beneath the dust of busy days, the tasks, the demands of adult life. Love doesn't disappear. He just needs to be remembered and taken care of. Just like a plant that withers when forgotten, but revives with a little water, light, and attention. It's not magic, it's presence, it's intention. The beauty of a relationship lies in the small details that we learn to see again. Because when you look carefully, what seemed banal reveals depth. And when you decide to take care, what was dying comes back to bloom. Love is resilient, but it needs to be nurtured. We live in an era of distractions, comparisons, and unattainable expectations. And sometimes, without realizing it, we forget to value those who are by our side every day, those who know us in detail, those who were there even in the most difficult moments. Today, my invitation is for you to look at this person with more kindness. Maybe you are hurt, tired, frustrated. All of this is valid. But inside you there is still a feeling, and if you are here, it is because it still matters. So try to remember a quality of your love that you admire. That thing you might not have even said to him lately. It could be the way he takes care of his children, how he protects you even in silence, or how he listens to you when you need to vent. Sometimes we are so focused on what is missing that we forget to see what is still there, firm, pulsing. This is also love, the ability to recognize the value of the other, even on cloudy days. Emotional connection begins when we allow ourselves to feel again, without fear, with vulnerability. And that changes everything. Therefore, comment below on a quality of your love that you admire, even if it has been stored inside for too long. It may seem simple, but this small gesture can open up space for a new conversation, for a reunion, for a fresh start. Maybe he or she has never heard it from you so sincerely, and if possible, say it in person too. Look them in the eye and speak, because when we connect with the truth, our hearts warm, and a warm heart has more courage to continue. True love is built on daily choices, on unspoken words that finally gain a voice, on small gestures that say, "I still care about you." And this, perhaps, is the greatest proof of love there is. So right here, share with us. Let your emotions come out. Sometimes a simple comment from you can touch the heart of another woman who is in exactly the same place as you. Let's together transform pain into presence, silence into words, and exhaustion into hope. Because love deserves to be remembered and cared for. And now that we've come this far, I want you to keep one thing in your heart. Rekindling your marriage is absolutely possible, and it doesn't need grand gestures or radical changes. It all starts with small attitudes, done with truth, a long look, an intentional touch, a forgotten compliment that reappears. Throughout this video, we went through deep reflections, practical tips and stories together that mirror what many of us experience in silence. And the most beautiful thing about it all is realizing that when you choose to take care of love, it responds. When you plant presence, connection grows. It doesn't matter how long you've been apart, nor how many mistakes have been made. What matters is what you decide to do from now on. And you have already taken a huge step just by being here, searching, listening, feeling. This journey is yours, and it can be lighter, more beautiful, and more alive than you imagine. Love, when cared for, has the power to be reborn, and you have that power in your hands. So if this video touched your heart in any way, if any words made sense, comment below the word reborn. I will love knowing who stayed until the end, who is determined to transform their own story and rekindle that flame. This shows me that you're not just watching, you're committed to this change. And if you want more videos like this, where we talk with an open heart about real relationships, personal growth, self-knowledge and reconnection, subscribe to the channel now and activate the bell. This is just the beginning of a journey we can take together. Here, we will continue building a safe, intimate, and inspiring space for women who, like you, have not given up on love and who are willing to learn to love in a more conscious, deeper, and truer way. So comment, share this video with a friend who needs to hear this, and tell me, are you ready to be reborn in love? I'm here with you, always.